Next up, guys, we got our returning champion. I kid, of course. Yousri Belgaroui. He's coming back for revenge. He wants to do it again. He wants to do it better. He's taking on Taiga Iwasaki. I believe he's a Shuto fighter. And, he had a weird fight with Lovato Jr. If you guys know who Lovato Jr. is, he's not a fucking joke at all. He's a very, very serious fighter in MMA, but also in jiu-jitsu, he's world class. So, don't know why that fight was booked except to make it a squash match for Lovato, to be clear. So for me, I don't know what the vibes are on this guy. I don't mind leading out here. I did watch a couple of his fights. I didn't come away blown away by his skill. He's a guy that likes to cage push. He likes to push people against the fence, go for takedowns. His takedown game is all right. His grappling game is all right. He got back up once against Lovato. I thought that was impressive. I think he's a BJJ black belt. Or maybe a Japanese jiu-jitsu black belt. In any case, I believe he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Let's call it that. And I think that he's got some skill and some talent, but frankly, he's fighting the lowest level competition you've ever seen except Lovato. And in that case, like Lovato cleaned him up pretty easily at 38 years of age. So I don't know that I came away super impressed by any of the tape or the footage that I saw. And for Yousri Belgaroui, I thought he showed a much better product against terrible fighters, granted, not like super high level opponents, but at least guys that had gone out there and could fight for 5 rounds and wanted to be there, right? Because he beat the shit out of that one dude and he just kept getting back up. The dude, I said after round 1, the dude's like on the ground, slumped over with blood coming out of his side of his head. And he just kept fighting like a gangster. So was it bullish that he didn't put that guy away? Maybe not. But I think, honestly, he just wanted to get his cardio work in and not go too hard, and it just looked to me like he could fight at that pace all day, picking him apart with the knees, the length, his ability to fight from the outside. And if he's not getting taken down in this fight, I think he's going to box this guy's face off. So, yeah, I kind of just think that Yousri is a much better striker in this fight. And if it plays out on the feet or in the clinch, I think he's going to win that fight. But if it gets to the ground, obviously that's the path, I think, for Iwasaki here is to just implement his ground game, force a guy who's long and lanky into awkward positions, maybe get on his back, yank him backwards over his center of gravity, things like that. But for me, I'm not super bullish on his chances, honestly. I feel like he's fought a pretty fugazi strength of schedule. And the one time he fought a real fighter, he got cleaned up in the first round. For Yousri Belgaroui, that Tulio guy's not a joke. And he went out there and fought him hard for 15 minutes when he was not in a great position. So for me, I just feel like he's a guy that's going to show a better product this time. What do you think about this one? We'll start with my guy, Gordo. How do you feel, my brother?
Yeah, this is a weird one for me because I do think when you look at it from a grand scheme of things, it's like, yes, Belgaroui is the type of guy they want to have success. He dropped the ball last time. He has a good strength of schedule going out there and fighting kickboxer, a good frame, and a guy who seems like a guy who can go out there and compete, a guy who they seem to want to have inside the UFC here. I look on the other side of things and I look at the Iwasaki guy, and he's doing what he's got to do against lower level competition. He did get run through, like you mentioned, that one matchup, but his last one after that, it was a lot more cage push, a lot more wrestling, a lot more back to the basics, and a style that I do think could go out there and give some problems to Belgaroui. But I think at the end of the day, these are two guys who want to primarily strike, and the range, the level of experience, the timing, the technicality is all on the Belgaroui side. And with that frame, with that level of competition, I do think he's someone who is set up for success here. He is someone who I do think should be winning these fights, and a guy who I do think I would have to pick to win this one. But I'm not sure how much I want to play into a Belgaroui at the price tag. I mean, he's sitting right now at minus 650 on some markets, minus 500 on others. Like, this is a very wide price tag. And yes, he should win the fight. Yes, he does have the height, the reach, the striking, the level of experience. But I've seen him push against the cage. I've seen his takedown game be threatened. The guy just doesn't rate out as a good long-term prospect. And although Taiga doesn't really type of guy to go out there and threaten it, he's a younger fighter who has shown the ability to cage push and threaten takedowns. So although I'm picking Belgaroui in this one, I think there is some interest if this line continues to climb. I'm not saying Iwasaki was going to go out there and just dominate him in the wrestling in this fight, but if he cage pushes for a while, it takes away the steam for Belgaroui. There's some ticks in the area and Lyme disease flares up. Who knows? And I do think, although I'm picking Belgaroui, the line is wide in this matchup.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm pretty stunned by some of the prices that I'm seeing on props. So I'm just gonna shut the fuck up and keep those to myself until they open on domestics. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm pretty surprised by some of these props on this fight. Pierce, how do you feel about this matchup, my brother?
Buddy, you don't need to hide it from me that you want to play the Belgaroui round 3 prop. I don't really have any hot takes on this fight. I mean, it's a fucking massive squash match. Iwasaki is awful. He couldn't tell you a redeeming quality about this guy. And Belgaroui, he's got that, he's got that Alex Pereira connection. That's originally why they brought him on, because he trains with Alex Pereira. But I'm putting my head together. I think Alex Pereira is trying to mog is the dude that defeated him fighting after Belgaroui. So, oh, my man Otani better watch out, because Pereira's boy is gonna make a statement this Tuesday. But yeah, I don't know what to think of this fight. Belgaroui can finish him whenever he wants. It's just a matter of when. And I look at these prices. Plus 1,000 for round 3. Why the fuck not? Belgaroui is an attritional guy, and if Iwasaki can, just clinch a little bit, man, we'll get this finish in round 2 or 3, and we'll be rich. That's all I gotta say. Iwasaki sucks.
I love your directness, Pierce. I think the truth is somewhere in between. I don't think he's the worst fighter I've ever seen, but he's never beaten a serious fighter. That's kind of the way I would put it. I think that he's a guy that he's got some athletic potential, but until he's tested, I really can't say that I'm sold on him. And what I did see against Lovato was a guy that had one explosive burst to get back up to his feet, and then he just got completely audited in the jiu-jitsu. And there's no skin off your nose for that, but I think that in this matchup, if he's not pushing the grappling, he's going to have a really hard time, because Belgaroui is just way more credentialed on the feet, been there for way longer, fought better guys, tested himself against more people, different places, fought Adesanya, fought Pereira multiple times. Like, you just go through the list, and then you look at his
Fought Lyme disease
MMA
too, bro.
credentials. Yeah, exactly, dude. He fought the
But
Ticks of
lost.
the Northeast. We know that those guys are tough. They bring it. So I just think that this is a spot where Yousri is getting better. He showed off better takedown defense and better anticipation as well, I thought, in some of the recent fights that I've seen, which is he's looking for the knee as people enter. He's looking to clinch people up and then use the fact that they're trying to get close to him to land those knees to the body. And I posted something on X earlier. If you guys aren't following me at LiamPicksFights, I'd encourage you to do so, because I post a lot of cool shit. But in any case, I'll share it right now if you guys want to see this. And hopefully I don't get banned, of course, for just sharing a little bit of kickboxing greatness with you guys. But if you watch, I said that Yousri Belgaroui uses that lanky frame. And if you see right there, he gets to that knee to the body. And it's just a very effective shot. So if you want to cage push all night with a guy who's fucking really tall and going to knee you in the body, we've kind of seen the knees to the body were what did in Pat Pitlick, right? It was literally just one simple maneuver over and over and over again. The right tool applied over and over works. And I just feel like in this fight, this guy's not going to have answers for that. So to your point, Pierce, I think he will break down over time. I would not be surprised to see bad shots, bad takedown attempts, getting a little bit loosey-goosey with positions. I've seen him fall out of positions against not good fighters. So yeah, I have a lot of skeptical hippo eyes about this guy.